So Season of the Deep is not the best season, let's be honest, but it does come with some decent weapons. In today's video, I'm going to be covering which weapons are must-haves and which weapons you can pass on so you don't have to play and spend your valuable time earning weapons that just aren't that good. Just to let you guys know, I will not be covering the Ghost of the Deep dungeon weapons in this video. I'll do those in a completely separate one. So if you do find this video helpful, leave a like or maybe even a cheeky sub so you don't miss the future videos. So let's get started with the Reckoning weapons, and I'll also have timestamps for all the weapons in the description. Now the Reckoning weapons are sadly not craftable. Would have made getting a spare rations a bit easier though, but that's okay because they are easily farmed through the helm vendor for a couple engrams and some shards, and can be earned via fishing if you want to put yourself through that for hours on end. Do you hate yourself? So let's get started with the Spare Rations, a great weapon from the old Reckoning days backed with a refresh perk pool. The Spare Rations is a great set of perks for both PvE and PvP, so let's take a look. For PvE, in column 3, I would take Rapid Hit or Subsistence, and in column 4, I would take Kinetic Tremors or Swashbuckler. These perks will help with the reload, and Tremors or Swash will help beef up the damage output just a bit. For PvP, I would be taking Moving Target or Slide Shot in column 3. Slide Shot helps considerably since the range on the Spare Rations is definitely its weakest stat. And in column 4, Spare Rations rolls with Kill Clip and Opening Shot, so really you can't go wrong with either of those in the 4th column. Some really great rolls for both PvE and PvP, the Spare Rations, and I 100% recommend picking this one up. Next we have the Bug Out Bag SMG. The Bug Out Bag is a solar adaptive frame SMG, and you know what that means, it does roll with Incandescent. So the PvE roll for the Bug Out Bag is going to be Subsistence in column 3 and Incandescent in column 4. It's not a bad replacement for the Callus Mini Tool if you don't have that weapon from Season of the Haunted, but it is a pretty solid pickup for a solar build, especially if you don't have the new Ghost of the Deep SMG. Soul Survivor is a bit of a meh weapon, you can probably pass on it. The Distant Pull, which I'll discuss later, is overall just a better sniper. Next we have the Shotgun, Last Man Standing. Now look, I'm not a huge fan of shotguns in PvE, but there are some decent rolls on this one, especially if you want a 1-2 punch shotgun. If you're not looking for a 1-2 punch shotgun, you can give this one a pass. In column 3, you're able to get Subsistence or Pugilist. In column 4, you can get 1-2 punch and Swashbuckler. Pairing any of those together will make for a great shotgun, especially if you're using a Titan or Hunter melee build. They're just in case. I'm not a massive fan of swords in general, but it does roll with Incandescent, Unrelenting, Collective Action, but you can safely skip this weapon unless you're planning to collect them all, especially since the Strand Sword from the Taken weapons is overall a better weapon. Outlast, there are better pulse rifles for PvE. You're safe to skip this weapon. However, if you are a PvP player, this can roll some solid perks, such as Rangefinder and Keep Away in column 3, and Kill Clip in column 4. Now, onto the deep weapons. All of these weapons are craftable, so I'll be going over the best rolls for each one, starting with the Stasis Submachine Gun, Rapacious Appetite. This is a great aggressive frame SMG in the kinetic slot, and the 3rd column is pretty dry, but you do have perks like Perpetual Motion and Envious Assassin, which aren't too bad. And in the 4th column, we have Headstone, One for All, and Frenzy, which are all great perks to roll for this SMG. For PvP, this weapon does roll both Target Lock and Cascade Point, so it can be an immortal from Walmart if you're like me and don't love trials. Next we have Until Its Return, arguably the better of the shotguns this season, being able to roll with some great perks for PvE, and it is a rapid fire frame, so we can take full advantage of the 4th column perk, Cascade Point. That'll see you dumping clips into tanky enemies insanely quickly. The perks I recommend here are Overflow or Auto-Loading Holster in column 3, and Surrounded or Cascade Point in column 4. This will make for a fantastic shotgun with solid damage output on tankier enemies. Next we have the Different Times Strand Pulse Rifle. This is a great pulse for both PvE and PvP. It is a rapid fire frame that has a solid perk pool. For PvE, column 3 has Subsistence, Outlaw, Stats for All, and in column 4 it has Golden Tricorn, Collective Action, Adrenaline Junkie, Hatchling, and Multi-Kill Clip. And for PvP, it can roll with Heating Up and Moving Target in column 3, and in column 4 you can run Multi-Kill Clip or Headseeker. Now we have the Distant Pull, the weapon I would recommend over the Soul Survivor. A fantastic sniper rifle for both PvP and PvE. This is a rapid fire stasis sniper rifle, being able to roll in the 3rd column with Triple Tap or Overflow, and in the 4th column, Focus Fury or Collective Action, making it a solid PvE roll. If you're looking for a PvP roll, then the Distant Pull also has some great perks. 3rd third column rolls keep away or moving target, and the fourth column rolls opening shot and explosive payload. There's no snapshot sights, sadly, but it does have an impressive base handling stat of 65. Now onto the infamous targeted Redaction 120 hand cannon. This hand cannon can do some serious damage in PvP, allowing for some insanely low time to kills. There's a reason it's the number one 120 hand cannon in PvP at the time of recording and number 2 overall. As a 120, its handling and reload stats are quite low. With its range being 56, it's still not great, but the perk pool more than makes up for this. Being able to roll with well-rounded in the third column and keep away in the fourth, you'll have no issues with these perks working together, pushing its range stat to 86 and adds 20 to the stability, handling, and reload. Take your pick at the magazine and the barrel, and you'll be set with quite a formidable hand cannon. And finally, we have the sword, the thin Precipice, a strand vortex frame sword, and oh boy, is this thing a great PvE sword. Much like its void brother, the fallen guillotine, the Precipice can roll with some fantastic perks. The third column rolls with relentless strikes and unrelenting, and the fourth column rolls with golden tricorn or collective action. A great sword to have in your back pocket if you're running some sword DPS, and an absolute must-have, especially if you don't have a god roll fallen guillotine. That's all for today's video. I hope you found this video useful. If you did, make sure you leave a like or even a cheeky sub. Let me know what weapons you're picking up, and if you want to connect with me, my Twitch, Twitter, and Discord are all in the description below. Until next time, happy grinding, Guardian.